Are there benefits to consuming fermented foods above and beyond what you would get with a probiotic supplement? Probiotics are live bacteria and yeast that are thought to have beneficial effects on the gut microbiome. This can be taken either in pill form as a probiotic supplement, or can also be found on fermented foods. The risk of probiotic supplements is that in some people who don't have proper intestinal motility, these bacteria can actually be deposited in the wrong location of the intestinal tract and induce what is referred to as small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Essentially, we should have far less bacteria inside of the small intestine as we do in the large intestine. But when there is a deposition of bacteria inside of the small intestine and they begin to colonize and replicate, we can have an overgrowth of bacteria inside of that small intestine, which can create some deleterious metabolic byproducts, lead to bloating, discomfort, lethargy, brain fog, and other symptom characteristics of small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. Essentially, we don't want a lot of bacteria inside of the small intestine. And the problem with probiotic supplements is just because we take them doesn't mean they will automatically stay intact until they make it to the large intestine and then release the bacteria. In many cases, especially those with poor intestinal motility, these probiotic supplements can actually remain in the small intestine for prolonged periods of time, open up in the small intestine, leading to small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. This is where fermented foods come in. Fermented foods are not just the probiotic bacteria. Rather, they also contain structural components, especially fiber. And it appears that cellulose, a type of fiber, and many other types of fiber increase the survival rate, and the likelihood that probiotics are delivered to the large intestine rather than the small intestine. It's like taking your probiotics and giving them a ride on the magic school bus. Personally, my favorite fermented food is going to be sauerkraut because in addition to its probiotics, it also contains 3 grams of fiber. But another option is taking a low-fiber fermented food and adding it into a meal that has dietary fiber within it. But in my opinion, I do think that getting probiotics from food might be superior to getting them from a supplement, because the fiber found within that food can increase the likelihood that they deposit in the large intestine rather than the small intestine.